Hello, welcome everybody to episode 9 of the ReptiChat podcast. Hope you guys are all well, and I hope you liked the new intro. It's something that I've had being made in the background for the last couple of weeks, and yeah, that's the first sort of show of it. I'm pretty happy with it. I like how it came out, so and it stops me using the generic StreamYard one as well. Anyway, so what's happening with me at the moment? What's going on in the world? So I bought a new car last week. New car blew up the same day I bought it. So I've spent the week lying underneath it fixing it. So that's always good fun. More exciting stuff. I've now got a clutch of royal eggs in the incubator. I've got 7 eggs from I can't remember the pairing right off the top of my head, but I'm hoping for some blue-eyed Lucies from it. So that's really exciting. They'll be hatching in 55, 60 days or so. I'm also expecting another 3 clutches this week, so I've got eggs due on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's really good, and that's all from different pied combinations. So hopefully, I'll finally, after 3 years of trying, hit a pied. Because if not, I might cry. Talking of eggs, the little cresty gecko eggs that I found when I was cleaning them out, that I've been incubating for the last however many days. One of them, unfortunately, was fully formed in the egg, but the egg failed and they died. However, yesterday, no, what day is it today? Saturday. So on Thursday, we'd been at Whipsnade Zoo all day and got home, and there was a tiny little crested gecko just chilling in the incubator tub. So I have now officially bred my first crested gecko, I guess. So yeah, you could just call me a crested gecko breeder. So yeah, that's all the egg excitement at the moment. Hopefully I'll have some more eggs in the incubator next time we get together. Next thing I want to just chat about quickly is the Exotic Keeper Magazine Members Club. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it on screen now. Every episode I do a giveaway, so you can have 12 months digital subscription to the Exotic Keepers Members Club. So all you need to do to win that is just drop a comment in the YouTube comments below and drop an animal fact. It's that straightforward. The facts will be really easy. Something as simple as dogs have 4 legs. And this episode's winner will be announced later on in the episode. Please excuse my dogs. They're just running around like hoodlums at the moment. So yeah. And if you want to support the podcast, obviously, please go and like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Anyway, moving on. It's been a few episodes since we've had a proper snake chat. And today we're finally going to have a snake chat. So without any further ado, let's say hello to Jack from Beardy Royals. And what an impressive beard it is. Hello, mate. How are you?
You're right, Ben. How's it going?
I'm not too bad, mate. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on. Good. Let me just move up. Well, I've just got to sort my dogs out for a second. Hang on.
Yeah, no, that's right, mate.
Oh, they're sorting themselves out. Right, that's fine. So, yeah, thank you very much for coming on. You have been a massive support of the podcast and just my Instagram in general. And it's nice to finally sit down and have a proper chat with you.
Yeah, no, it's good, mate. We've been talking for a little while, so it's
exactly. It's nice to finally put a face to the name and stuff as well. And today we'll hopefully get to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I can't see your webcam.
You can't see it?
No, it's just a black screen.
Hang on a second. Let me have a fiddle quickly. Is that working now?
Still grey at the moment.
Okay, well, you can hear me, so we'll just crack on and hopefully it'll sort itself out. So audio is important anyway. Right. So you've obviously listened before, but for those that haven't, I'd like to start the podcast with a section called Get to Know. And it just helps us get to know a little bit more about the person behind the social media account.
Yep.
So obviously, sort of quick fire questions, short, snappy answers, and then we'll go deeper dive into the answers later on in the podcast. All right?
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
So, if you're ready,
Yes.
first reptile.
Corn snake.
Favorite royal morph in your collection at the moment?
Ultramel.
Nice. Money, no object. What morph would you add to the collection?
Probably a Ultramel pied or a clown.
Okay, nice. Well, Ultramel clown or just clown?
Yeah, Ultramel clown,
Ultramel
definitely.
Very nice. Most overrated royal morph.
Oh, I might get a bit of hate for this.
That's all right. We like to stir the pot a little bit.
I'm going to say Sunset.
Okay, yeah.
I do like them. Don't get me wrong, I do like them. I don't want anyone giving me hate, but I think
overrated.
Sunset.
Yeah, fair enough. Most underrated royal morph.
Ultramel or albino.
Okay, or just normal albino, high contrast, lavender.
Yeah, just normal. I remember having one of my first royals was albino.
Yeah,
and I don't think they get the love they deserve.
No, I'd have to agree with you. And the last one for to get to know your favorite biscuit. I'm changing it up a little bit.
Oh, Fox's Classics.
Oh, nice choice. That's like a rogue choice as well. I was expecting like hobnob or something like that.
Oh, I do like hobnobs, but Fox's Classics, they're the best.
Nice. Right, and then moving on, we do a little this or that section as well. So it's got nothing to do with royals, but just helps get to know you a little bit better. So yeah, this or that. So beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Sun or snow?
Snow.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Night in or night out?
Not in.
Early bird, night owl, or permanently exhausted pigeon?
I'm going to say permanently exhausted pigeon.
Yeah, it seems to be a common occurrence that lots of people just seem to be knackered all the time.
Yeah. It's always the way, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Between work and looking after the animals, we haven't got any time for sleeping.
No, exactly that, mate. Exactly that.
Cool. So that's the getting to know you section over and done with. I think I know you a little bit better. And Fox's Classics, yeah, rogue shout. I might go to the shop after this.
Yeah, go and get yourself a pack, mate.
Yeah, definitely. So we're just going to go straight into it, really. So can you give us not a brief history, but not we're going to be sat here for an hour just discussing history, but tell us about your reptile keeping history, so to speak, like your career I'm just mumbling, where you've been so far with reptiles.
It started years ago. I remember my cousin had a corn snake, and I think it was 2007. I'm pretty sure it was. It's around about that sort of time. And I'd spoken to my mum about getting a corn snake, and she said no. And then we went down the pet shop, and my mum held the corn snake, and we saw one in there, and then she bought it for me. So yeah, I must have been about 12, 13 when I'd done that. So that was my first interaction with them. I think I'd probably seen them at like zoos and stuff when I was a kid, but actually holding a snake, it was my cousin's corn snake.
Yeah. No, that's
cool.
And
then I was trying to think if I had to sell up before my daughter was born because we needed money for rent and deposit for the flat we're in.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's just it was unexpected, so we didn't really have the money at the time to just do it. So I had some boas and some royals as well that I sold up.
Okay. Yeah, I think that happens. I had to sell my collection when I was probably, I don't know, between 17 and 19. Again, due to needing money for housing and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's quite nice to be able to get back into it later on in life a little bit when you sort of already have a bit of experience and you've got a bit more sort of grown-up money behind you as well.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, though, to be honest.
Yeah, probably a bad thing, but good at the same time.
So from the gap of setting up, when did you then get back into, I'm going to say reptiles because I'm not sure what you're keeping. I don't know if it's just royals at the moment, but we'll say, when did you get back into reptiles?
Yeah, it's just royals at the moment that I'm keeping, but I think I started back in October or November of 2021.
Okay.
I'd been speaking to the missus about getting back into it for years, and she kept saying no. And then I kept thinking, oh, yeah, we don't have the money at the moment. And then I saw some bits on Morph Market and I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I bought 2.
What were those 2? Can you remember?
It was a Bumblebee Het Clown and the Vanilla Leopard Het Clown.
Okay. And so when you got back in, were you planning on breeding straight away, or were you just going, oh, maybe I'll get 1 or 2 and that'll be it?
Well, I wanted to breed before when I had them when I was younger. I did want to breed. I did also want to breed boas as well, but Royals were like the thing I really wanted to get into.
Yeah.
And then having to sell up and do all that, I thought, well, when I do get back into it, yeah, they're my pets obviously as well, but I also want to get into breeding too. So they were proven adult breeders when I bought them too.
Yeah, I think it goes sort of hand in hand as well, doesn't it? Like, for most reptile keepers, you tend to get 1 or 2, and then breeding almost is the next step of keeping them. And
Yeah.
if you can successfully breed them, then you're obviously doing something right. And let's face it, it's really cool to like see the eggs and then watch the whole process, and then you have baby animals, which are always really cute.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to wait until my daughter was a bit older, so she's going to be 6 this year now.
Okay.
So I've been keeping for the last, going on 2 years now. So she would have been 4.
Is this your 3rd year?
Second.
Second, yeah.
So, and she helps me out with all the snakes. She comes in and helps me clean them and whatnot. So she's at the right age where she knows what's going on as well.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Like my daughter gets stuck in sometimes as well. She's 12.
Yeah.
We've had snakes, I think, since she was probably about the same age. So like 6 or 7 on and
Yeah.
off. And yeah, it's so nice to be able to share it with them and to like see their passion growing as well.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm coming in and cleaning, or even if I'm just coming in to change waters and stuff, she always wants to come in and help me out and stuff, which is nice.
Yeah,
she hasn't really got she has held some of them, but she gets a bit like that when she does hold them.
Yeah, she'll get there. What you need is to grow up a few more years, and then you can get her to go and clean them all out, while she don't have to.
Yeah, I'll pay her a bit of pocket money, and she can do the job for me.
It's amazing how far a quid will go.
Yeah, too right. She keeps saying that she wants to get a gecko, but she obviously I've only showed her pictures, and she's like, "Oh, I want one."
Yeah.
But I know it'll probably be me that's having to do everything.
Is it a leopard gecko or a cresty or a different type that she's after?
Yeah, she wants a leopard gecko. That's what she keeps saying.
Yeah. To be fair, 6. Yeah, you are right. At 6, you'd still have to be doing everything, but I think they're good as a starter reptile, so to speak. Like, they're pretty hardy. My dog's too, and I have nothing to do with them anymore. Like, I check that she's obviously maintaining them, but at 12, she's happy to feed them, clean them out. I don't need to do anything.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good one to start with.
Yeah, I mean, I've had other stuff in the past, like bearded dragons. I had water dragons and other stuff like that, and yeah, I've never had a leopard gecko, so I'm all up for it. I'm like, yeah, let's get one. But the missus has other ideas.
I think they've got brilliant characters. I think they're brilliant little animals.
Yeah.
So obviously, sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say they seem like quite a good thing for like a beginner, like for a gecko or a lizard. They seem like a good starter for somebody.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. And they don't get massive. They're relatively easy to look after. Like, and they can be pretty sociable and tame as well. So I think especially for younger kids.
Yeah, I haven't seen any videos online of any aggressive leopard geckos.
I've got one. His name's Winston, and he's all right for like the first 5 minutes. If you get him out, like, he'll just sit in your hands. He's quite happy, and then he just gets bored, turns around, and latches onto you.
Yeah, he's like, I want to go back in now.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, he's a strange character, but we love him anyway.
Yeah.
So it's your 2nd year of keeping since you've been back in the hobby.
Yeah.
Did you breed last year? I know you are doing it this year.
Yeah, I had 2 clutches last year. One went bad in the incubator, which was a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
And then I had another 5 eggs from the same female that I done again this year because she put on weight quite well. So I decided to do her again. So yeah, I had 5 eggs last year.
What, 5 eggs? Is that the 5 that were good eggs?
Well, I had 10 technically, and then the other ones went bad. So I only had 5 that made it.
In the first year as well, isn't it? It's a bit of a kick in the nuts. But
yeah, I guess it's the learning curve.
Definitely. So do you know what happened to the eggs, or was it just unfortunate they just were bad?
Well, I had the other 5 in there, and they was all fine. And then every sort of couple of days, I'd check on the other one because I was a bit like, oh, I want to keep checking. You know, I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have. And then I noticed that one started to go mouldy.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's fine. So I moved it out the way. But then the other 2 done the same.
Right. Okay.
And then it got to day 56, and there was one egg left that looked okay.
Yeah.
So I cut it because I could feel sort of movement in the egg.
Yeah.
Perfectly formed baby in there, nothing, no problem there. But then about 3 or 4 days later, it hadn't come out of the egg. So
Right.
I touched it, and it had passed away. So, but yeah, I guess it's one of them things you learn, don't you?
Yeah, it's horrible to have to deal with, but it is like you say, it is one of those things, and it is a learning curve. Like when I was young, before I sold up, so I must have been, I don't know, between the ages of 14 and 17, 18. I was breeding what I had at home, which was just, I think it was 2 normals. I can't even remember actually. It was a long time ago now. Might have been a pastel and a normal, but
Yeah,
the first 3 years of clutches I had, the first year, all the eggs died about 30 days in because I had all the incubator meat, like it was too wet in there, so they just almost drowned.
yeah,
So that was the first year's clutch written off. Second year, they all went full term, and then they were all stillborn in the eggs. I don't know what happened with that.
yeah,
The third year, I spent loads of money on a brand new incubator. I was like, it's got to be the incubator. Something's gone wrong. So I spent loads of money on the incubator. Third clutch from the same pairing. All the eggs went full term. I'll tell you what, it was a spider to a pastel because I was trying to get bumblebees,
yeah.
and I hit. It was 4 eggs. I hit 3 bumblebees and a pastel, and all 4 of them were really, really kinked, and they had to be euthanized.
Oh, okay.
That was like the first 3 years of breeding. I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. But
Yeah,
things happen, and I don't know. I think it was the incubator in the end for the last one. It might have been the pairing. They might have just been incompatible. But
yeah,
yeah, that was a hard few years of learning what the hell I was doing.
yeah. I mean, if you learn along the way, and like you say, if it was the incubator, as long as you sort of replace it and get another one and try again,
Yeah,
it's
that's all you
not really
can
that
do.
big of a deal.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
that as
heartbreaking
well
when
is,
you pair for months, don't you?
oh yeah, because you're pairing for months, then you're like sat there waiting for eggs every day. And at the time, I was at school, so like every day I get home from school, I'd be like, "I've got eggs?" No. And at that
Yeah,
time, like I'd done my research, but I couldn't spot an ovulation. I wasn't sure if it was a pre-lay shed or just a normal shed. So like
yeah,
they shed, and I'll be like, "Oh, I've got 30 days, I'm gonna get eggs." And then like it'd be like 70 days later, and they shed again. I'm like, maybe this one's the pre-layer
yeah,
shed.
yeah. Maybe this one.
Yeah. So, but overall, yeah, no, it's a good experience, and I had like it was like RFUK and things like that back then. So it was lots of asking a question online, getting
Yeah,
20 people telling me I was doing something wrong, and not really learning anything.
everyone just giving you abuse and not actually trying to
Yeah,
help
it's
you.
like Facebook nowadays, isn't it?
I don't use Facebook no more.
Yeah, no, I
It's,
use Facebook for personal things, but nothing animal related at all.
yeah, no, I deleted my Facebook, my personal like Instagram
Yeah,
page. Now I just have the Instagram page for the snakes.
yeah.
And then so now whenever I go onto my Instagram, all I see is pictures of snakes. There's nothing negative or people having a go at
Yeah,
others.
that's what you want, isn't it? A bit of
Yeah, it's quite
positivity.
nice.
Just makes me feel poor though. I just look at scrolling through Instagram, I'm like, yep, that's nice. Yeah, I want that one. You go on Morph Market, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
I feel like I'm basically living on Morph Market most of the time.
Yeah, no, I do as well. My friend Sarah and Jason of S&J Royals, they were on an episode. I think they were episode 2.
Yeah.
Yesterday they won Gavin and Balls to Use raffle thing for the £5,000 worth of snakes from Aussie Boys. So
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
was sat on Morph Market last night scrolling through his things, and it's like, oh, you could get this one. Oh, you could get this one.
yeah. Having a
Like,
look at all the stuff
just
on
spending
there.
other people's money for them. It's easily done.
Yeah. Oh, with that amount of money, you could get something really, really nice for some
Well,
really good projects with
I
that.
said to them, are they going to go for like one snake that's worth £5,000, or should they go for like 5 £1,000 snakes?
Yeah.
Like it's a hard. There's so many snakes on there. It was really. Anyway, we're rambling on. So last year you had one clutch that went bad, one clutch that was good. What was the pairing, if you can remember, of the good clutch?
So I had my vanilla leopard het clown to my super pastel Mojave female.
Nice. Okay, so producing some hets as well. And were
Yeah.
you pairing to hit anything in particular that year, or was it just more of a let's have
Uh,
a go and get some experience under the belt?
yeah, I just got a bit excited, really.
Fair enough.
I'd bought the Super Pastel Mojave female. I think she was about 1,400 grams when I bought her.
Yeah.
I drove up to near Birmingham to get her, and she put on weight really quickly. You know, she got up to like 16, 17, 1,800 grams really quick. And I thought, well, I'll chuck a male in and see what happens.
Yeah.
And they locked up straight away. And she's a really, really, really nice snake as well. You can get her out when she's shedding. She's really, really placid.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And she just started feeding like crazy. I thought, well, maybe I'll try it and see if I get a clutch out of it. And
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Go for it.
If nothing else, it's just for the experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I said, she had 5 eggs and they all hatched out absolutely perfect. So they've all gone now. I sold the last one. I think it was last month or the month before.
Yeah.
But I was quite upset.
Clutch, or?
I was. There was one that I really liked, and I had to assist feed her for a while.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't eat, and that was a learning experience having to do that because I've never had to do that of any others.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about keeping her because she was really bright as well. So I thought, well, I wonder if that because she was a pastel vanilla Mojave.
Okay.
Possible het clown, but she was really bright, and I thought, well, maybe she's het clown. That's why she's so bright. So I was going to keep her. But before I took her off Morph Market, someone had messaged to buy her. And I thought, well, I'll just go for it. And I told him all the stuff that happened with her. She had to be assist fed, but she was, by the time she'd left me, she was strike feeding and everything.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's fair. That's fair enough. Like, it pays for the food bill for the rest of them as well, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, like I said, I did want to hold one back. So I was a bit upset. But she went for me again this year. She only gave me 2 eggs, unfortunately, but she was paired to my Super Pastel Blade Clown. So at minimum, I'm going to get Super Pastel Het Clowns.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I can get a Super Pastel Blade Mojave Het Clown female, I'll probably hold that back.
Yeah.
But we shall see. They hatch on the 17th, I think it is, of July.
Okay, not too long left then.
No, well, yeah, I've done it at 60 days. So if they're not sort of pipping by then I'll cut. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, that is exciting. So, what other pairings are you doing this year?
So I had 3 other pairings, but I know one of them's definitely not going to go. That was the Firefly Het Clown, and I put her to my Vanilla Leopard Het Clown, which I just sold that male today actually.
Okay.
So I was hoping to hit some vanilla cream or vanilla scream clowns.
Yeah.
But she decided she wasn't going to go, which is fine. And then I got my GHI girl. She's at nearly 3 kilos. She was paired to the Mojave Clown.
Okay, that'd be cool. Fair, if you hit a GHI Mojave Het Clown, I'll probably be in your DMs, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm hoping that she goes because I would say she's nearly at 3 kilos, and she shed about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Okay. And I keep looking at her.
Is she off food now as well?
She's been off food for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
And she's been sitting down the warm end for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, so really, she could be dropping anytime soon then?
Yeah, I keep checking a couple of times a day, and she's been absolutely fine. She hasn't looked like she's getting aggressive or anything like that, but she has made a little nest and is down that end. So I'm hoping she goes.
Yeah.
Because there could that would definitely be a holdback in there for me.
Yeah.
And then I had that Vanilla Leopard Het Clown again. He went to a Pastel Het Clown.
Okay, so again, another shot for clowns if they go as well.
Yeah, so I really like Leopard. I always have done, and just like what it does is even without Clown, just a normal Leopard just breaks up all the patterns. So I'm hoping for a Pastel Leopard Clown.
Yeah,
but whether or not she goes or not, I'm not sure. But I've only got them. I only had them 4 pairings this year. So
yeah, well, to be fair, that's enough. And like if you hit, but the law average is 6 eggs. So if they were to all go, and that's still a lot of babies to feed. Obviously, they're not going to all go, and you've had 2 eggs from one. But
yeah,
it's I think it's better, especially if you're just getting back into it. Like you said, it's your second year breeding. You
Yeah.
don't want to be jumping in the deep end and going, oh, I'm going to do 10, 15 pairings. And then,
Oh no.
well, I had 9 potential pairings this year. I think only probably 6 of them maybe are going to go.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, if like all 9 go and I'm lucky and I hit, I don't know, the average of 6 eggs on it, it's like what, 51 babies?
Yeah. You're gonna have your hands full.
That is a lot of babies to be feeding every few days.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like all the breeding stuff I do, and obviously keeping these as pets, it's not my income. So if they don't go, I don't care. You know, if they go, great. If they don't, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm exactly the same. Like mine, and if they go, they go. It's brilliant. Like I get a whole back. All my parents, there's something I want to hopefully produce so I can keep it back.
Yeah.
And any surplus, they get sold or given to friends or whatever, and the money that I make goes straight back into the snakes. Whether it's buying more snakes, paying for electric, paying for food.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm not making any profit really because it all goes straight back into the animals.
Yeah. Oh, since I started buying up in at the end of 2021, you know, I've nowhere near even the babies I sold this year, and I sold a couple of adults. Like I sold 2 today. I dropped them off to Eastbourne to SCR Royals.
Yep.
You know, I sold I haven't made nowhere near my money back, but for me, it's not about that. For me, I'm just happy to have them here. The missus don't like them in the bedroom, but she has to deal with it.
My bedroom is strictly no reptiles. So
yeah,
all of mine are in the kitchen. Saying that, the crested gecko that hatched a couple of days ago is currently on my bedside table because I didn't know where else to put it. So,
yeah.
But that is like it's like the size of 50p, if that. So I reckon I can get away with that for now.
Yeah, yeah. See, my missus, she's petrified of snakes.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm in the room,
impressive then.
Yeah, and then literally you've got the bed just over there, and then you've got the snakes this side. Yeah, she does let me get away with a lot, to be fair. She when we first met, she knew I had snakes and stuff. I had the boas and the Royals. But yeah, she knew it's always something I've wanted to do, so she's allowed it to me. So
well,
that was nice of her.
No, definitely, it's nice when they support your hobby as well, and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine like I don't think I could have that conversation with my wife again though. Like, would you mind if I put all my snakes in the kitchen? Saying that though, she like when we first started. What did we get first? We had a milk snake to start with when we first got together. A few bits and bobs, and then it all sort of died off. I didn't have anything for a while, and then I got a royal, and then that one royal turned into 2 within the space of like a month or so.
Yeah.
But she sort of got bitten by the bug herself, so she doesn't like dislike the snakes. She's not that fussed either way, but she likes reptiles. So I've got the snakes, I've got the leopard gecko, and then between us we've got they're hers really. So she's got the cresties, the chameleon behind me, and she's got 2 tortoises. So although she's not into the snakes as much, the reptiles as a whole, it's like a family affair.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.
I think the missus would be all right with like a bearded dragon or a leopard gecko. I don't know what it is about snakes, like because I handle mine near enough all the time, so they're pretty used to being handled. It's not like you're going to get one out and it's going to bite you.
Yeah.
And I tried to say to her, just come in and I'll get the nicest one out that I've got, even though they're all nice.
Yeah.
And you can hold it and you can see there's nothing to worry about. There's just some sort of fear that she has with them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are like that. I think it's just ingrained into people's brains that snakes are bad, aren't they? So, like, obviously, you've got the Bible telling them that snakes are bad. Like, if you're a kid, like, you watch the Jungle Book and they've got Car and he's the baddie. Like, snakes are always, like, Harry Potter, you've got the basilisk again. So, there's all these things that are just saying snakes are bad. Don't trust them.
They're always the evil character, aren't they?
Exactly. So, mate, she'll get over it one day. You've got them in the bedroom. Eventually, she's going to get over it.
Yeah, well. The only thing she said was because obviously I would prefer if I could have the tubs without the lids on.
Yeah.
So then, you know, it's easier for cleaning and feeding and stuff like that. But the only thing she said to me was, if you're going to keep them, I want them to have lids and locks on them so they can't get out. So all of the tubs have all got the lids still on.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. If that's the sacrifice you have to make, then fair enough.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your future breeding plans, say for the next season? What have you got in mind? Because I know you're quite like you really like your Ultramel stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah. So I recently bought a pastel het Ultramel, proven breeder. So, and I've also got my Mojave Ultramel male, but he's not going to be ready this year. So I'm hoping next year, maybe June, July, this sort of time, I might, if he's ready, start pairing them two.
Yeah.
And then I'm not too sure. I'll probably give the Super Pastel Mojave a year off because she's gone 2 years in a row now. She started eating again, but I'd rather just give her another year because I necessarily don't need anything.
Right.
Where's go on?
It's just I was going to say it's just good for them to have a break. It's not if I was producing babies, I wouldn't want to be popping one out every single year.
No, I mean it's only because she was eating so well again that I decided to pair again this year. I wasn't going to, but definitely not this season coming. She'll have the year off, and then if the GHI doesn't go, I'll probably repeat that pairing with the Mojave Clown again because that's what I ideally want to get into my clown projects would be the GHI.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Mojave and GHI in anything just work really well together. Like Mojave GHIs on their own are awesome. So chuck them in Clown, maybe Pride. I don't think I've seen an Ultramel GHI Mojave, but I can only imagine that looks awesome.
I think Exclusive Snakes over in is it Germany or I can't remember whereabouts he's definitely located, but he's got some GHI Mojave Ultramels for sale.
Yeah.
I think they're about $2,500.
Right. Okay.
But they're very nice.
Yeah, no, I'll have to have a look. So yeah, so Ultramel's it's something that I think is quite slept on as well. Like my projects at the moment are albino pied. Albino pieds. That's pretty much it. Like I like pied, and anything in pied is awesome.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of like possible het clowns, but I didn't buy them because they were poss het clowns. It's just the way they worked. I'll probably end up doing clowns and just to try and prove them out. But I think Ultramel is one of those snakes where I always look and go, oh my god, that's really cool. But I never have gone through Morph Market and gone, oh, should I buy an Ultramel? And I don't know why that is. I think it's very slept on.
Well, I remember I was looking through because the first one I bought was my pastel Ultramel female. And I was just looking through one day, and you know when you go on like the bit where all of the morphs are on there, so there's like 4,000 of them.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling and I see it, and I thought, oh, that was nice, and it was a really good price as well. I think it was $250. I think I paid for her, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll do it. So I bought her, and I went and picked her up, and as soon as I see it in person, I thought, wow, this is better than the pictures even was. And I thought,
yeah, I think Ultramel is a bit like as a Desert Ghost in the fact that it looks good in pictures, but in real life they look like 50% better again.
Yeah,
like it's strange how it's so difficult to capture how good they look with her.
Yeah, I mean, I take pictures with my phone of like my Ultramels or my other bits in the collection. It never looks as good as it does in real life, but you try and capture it as best as you can.
Yeah, that's all you can do, isn't it? But yeah, I definitely agree with you. They always look better in person.
Yeah, and then I think I remember I was chatting to you a little while ago, and I said about that Ultramel female that was for sale, and you said, "Oh, I said if it gets to the end of the month and it's still there, I'll buy it."
Yeah, I remember.
It got sold, so the same breeder that that one was with, he had the Fire Ultramel and the Mojave Ultramel for sale, and I got a good deal because I took both of them off him.
Okay, so you got plenty of Ultramel firepower in the background then.
Yeah, so I've got the Mojave Ultramel, the Fire Ultramel female, Pastel Ultramel female, and the Pastel Het Ultramel female.
Yeah,
that's what I've got in the Ultramel stuff at the moment.
Nice. So more. Do you think you'll be sort of moving away from the clown to focus more on the Ultramel stuff as it's growing up, or are you hoping to sort of do a clown project and an Ultramel project at the same sort of time? Are you going to combine them? What's the future plans?
Well, I actually had this chat with SCR Royals when I went and dropped the two off today. A couple of months ago, I was considering getting rid of the whole clown project I had and just going all into Ultramel.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't, because I do love the Clown project, and eventually I'm going to work the Ultramel into the Clown. But yeah, I could see in the future. I've got 2 more clowns coming from Tony Hersey.
Okay.
So, but I can see maybe in the next sort of year or so, I might maybe like my het clown stuff. I might move on once they've sort of, because my Firefly het clown I bought from 777.
Yeah.
And she's 1,500 grams, and the color on it still is insane. Like I wouldn't want to get rid of her. I don't think.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's difficult. Like, I've got a couple of normals in my rack that I don't plan on breeding this year. I don't really have any future plans for them either, but they're still they're so gorgeous. Like,
Yeah,
I can get rid of them, and I've had them since they were like hatchlings as well, so it makes it harder.
makes it even harder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
No, definitely.
Well, eventually, I'd like to get into a couple of other, because at the moment in our bedroom we haven't got a lot of space, but we're moving next month. So I'll have a bit of more of a wall space that I can maybe add like another row of racks.
Yeah.
If I need to.
Yeah.
So I want to.
I'm sure you'll need to. If you've got the space, the rack will appear.
Yeah. Miss goes, oh, that one there last week. Oh, yeah, it was. You just didn't see it. But yeah, I want to get into a couple of other recessives at some point.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you wanted to get into, or are you not quite sure where you want to go with that yet?
I do like the Pied.
Yeah.
Pied's always been a favourite of mine. And also, I do like Desert Ghost, but it's whether or not I want to go down too many like double recessive routes.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm sticking at the moment just with albino and pied. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't know if I've mentioned it before or not, but I'm colorblind, so IDing some of the stuff is really difficult for me. So I tend to choose pairings that I know that I can ID each individual morph quite easily.
Yeah,
so, like Desert Ghost, I don't know if when they hatch I'd be able to tell like categorically that's a DG and that isn't. So
yeah,
it's something I'm steering away from. Whereas albino and pied, obviously, if you can't ID a pied, what are you doing?
yeah.
So yeah, but I do like DG, and obviously they get better with age as well. So maybe it's
Yeah.
something I'd like to add later, but I'm not sure yet. But albino pieds is fine for me at the moment. I'm well happy with that.
Yeah, I do like your albino pies you got.
Yeah, that one from Wolves Balls is absolutely gorgeous. She's a monster as well. She slams food every week. And
Yeah.
she's growing really nicely as well. And then I've got the Candino that I got from Rebel Regis as well.
Yeah, I see that.
She's really nice as well. She's really big. She's gained like 400 grams in the last couple of months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's growing really, really well. So
Oh,
she
nice.
will. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her yet, but she'll be going to the pied het albino boy at some point and hopefully hit some candy albinos or albinos, and everything will be het pied as well. So
yeah, there'll be quite a few holdbacks for you in that one then.
Yeah, the space is an issue more than anything else.
Yeah. You'll have to try and convince the missus to move some into the bedroom like I have.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I have already got... So, I've got space for... How many have I got room for at the moment? 24 Royals. And I've changed my kitchen layout, so there will be space for 30. So,
okay.
I just need to buy more racks, but it'll happen at some point. They're not full up at the moment anyway. I think I've got like 9 spaces still, so...
Yeah.
I've got plenty of time. It's more the hatchings actually. So my hatching rack at the moment has got space for 24 babies.
Yeah.
I've already got 7 eggs in the incubator, and I think I've got 4 girls due to go soon as well. So I might have to build or make another hatching rack and find somewhere to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to build my own rack. You know, once we've moved house and we're settled in, I'm going to just build my own.
Yeah.
Because I've got all the heat mats here. I've got all the thermostats. I could quite easily build it.
Oh yeah, if you're handy with a screwdriver and a tape measure, they're not very difficult to build.
Yeah,
a lot cheaper. Like my adult rack, I've got 2 of the PVC ones from Herp Exotic, but
yeah,
I've got another one that I made myself. It's a 14 tub rack, and I think it cost me like 150 quid to make it.
Yeah,
it's mint. And the hatching rack I made myself as well. Again, it's really straightforward. And luckily for me, I used to work at a timber yard, so like I could cut it all out on my lunch break and just screw it all together.
Yeah. Thing is I do like the idea of buying a professional rack, or like I really like the wild rack stuff.
Yeah,
And I've looked at it before and thought, oh yeah, I do like that, but obviously they're not lidded; they're all lidless.
Yeah.
So I think to myself, well, I can't do that. So the only other real option I've got is just build one myself.
Yeah, no, but I suppose that it's you can get away with if they've got lids on, you can use like the IKEA bookshelves and stuff because you haven't got to worry too much about how much of a gap there is, so you can get away with it a bit. So I
Yeah,
suppose there's pluses and minuses of both ones, isn't there?
yeah. I mean, I do like the wild rat ones where they got like the LP tubs.
Yeah, I really like those as well.
So and they look really like clean as well, and they look quite. If you had loads of them in a row, I think they'd look really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's maybe I'll have to try and convince the missus to let me have lidless ones, and I'll just try and make some sort of like lock or something so they can't get out.
Yeah, I can't remember. I saw what was it? It might have been like an alu rack or a Euro rack, something like that. Like you
Yeah.
can get so they were lidless, but you could get like this like a locking bar that sits in front of all the tubs. So you had to take the bar out before the tubs could move. I thought that was
Oh,
quite
okay.
good. So you might be able to
Yeah,
get
that's a
away
good
that way
idea.
with it.
At least then they're not going to push their way out and
Yeah,
escape.
exactly. No,
But
definitely.
that's
And you haven't
the
got to
only
worry about,
problem
like,
I
the
have.
kids pulling them out or anything.
Yeah, that's it. I'll probably come in the bedroom one day and Mia's pulled all the tubs out and all the
Yeah.
snakes have escaped.
She's just there, like, look what I've got.
Yeah, just about 10 snakes all around her neck.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Oh dear, bless her. So are you still back onto breeding? Are you still pairing your snakes at the moment, or have you sort of got to the stage now where you think you've paired them enough, and if they go, they go, and if they don't, they don't?
Well, I've probably got to that point now where I've just thought, well, if they're going to go, they're going to go.
Yeah.
Because the Mojave clown to the GHI, she had a shed, and I was wondering, because she's quite big, I thought maybe I've missed the ovulation. Even though I'm checking all the time, I've never.
If they get like 3 kilos plus, it can be really difficult to spot the ovulation just because they are such big animals.
Yeah.
You don't tend to notice it as much.
Well, I put him in about a week before she had her shed, and she didn't lock with him. So I took him back out and put him back home, and then she went into a shed. So I thought, oh well, he's got the job done, and I might have missed the ovulation. So I'm just waiting on that one.
Yeah.
And then the pastel het clown, I've stopped pairing that now because the vanilla leopard, as I said, got sold today.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't put anything else in with her. If she had an ovulation, I saw it. It was big old lump. It was on my Instagram page.
Yeah, so she's either going to go or she's going to slug out.
Yeah, and that was probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago as well.
Okay.
So we
has she shed since you spotted the ovulation?
What's that? Sorry.
Has she shed since you saw the ovulation?
Yeah, she shed about 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay, so it should be eggs any day then.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you. Well, I'm sure they'll appear. I've had a couple of girls, especially last year. I had all of my girls went really late last year, so
yeah,
normally like 25 to 30 days after pre-lay shed. And
yeah,
I had 2 that both went like 60 days plus.
Oh, really?
What is going on? And then like you wake up one day and there's eggs. So
yeah, I'm hoping I'm in that situation.
Yeah. So what is your sort of feeding schedule? Not right now, obviously, because the girls are off feed, but say they've laid their eggs, it's getting towards winter when they start turning back onto food. What are you doing? Are you like maintaining feeding? Are you straight on like getting the girls like not power feeding, but making sure they're eating and getting lots of weight on them? And then what are you feeding? Are you feeding frozen thawed? Are you feeding live, multis, rats?
So yeah, I only feed frozen.
Yep.
I get it from Boss Rat. So I only feed that, and for my adults, I feed once every 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then for like the ones that are under like 700-800 grams, I do once a week.
Okay, and what sort of adults? What sort of size prey are you feeding them?
So I don't feed anything bigger than like a large wean.
Okay.
So like the big GHI girl, she could easily smash a small, medium rat.
Yeah.
But like I said to you before, because I don't do this, you do get money out of it, obviously. Like you say, It all goes back into the feed and stuff. But where it's not like my full-time income, I'm not trying to look to see how big they can get or how quickly.
Yeah.
I'd rather just give them a good-sized meal every 2 weeks and just do it like that, really.
Yeah, I've changed my feeding plan. So originally I was doing once every 7 days, and I've moved to about once every 10 to 14 days.
Yeah.
But then I'll skip a feed as well. So like I'll just what they will get nothing for 3 weeks
Yeah.
occasionally. And I've found that they're growing like they might even be growing better than they were when they were eating every week, because I think
Yeah.
they're getting more of a chance to like digest all the food. I've noticed like the poos are a lot smaller, so I don't know if before they were like, oh, like there's a new meal, let's evacuate and get like the new stuff in. Whereas
Yeah.
now they're taking their time to digest it more. Their body condition seems a lot better as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they look any smaller than they did. They look like leaner, I guess. But yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a good thing. So I think that's definitely the way to be going.
Yeah, I think so.
But like
Obviously,
you say, like anything under sort of 700-800 grams is getting fed every 5 to 7 days.
yeah. I mean, and I'll normally do like a small wean or something like that every
Yeah.
like 7 days for the smaller ones. Like my super pastel blade clown, he's at about 700 grams.
Right.
I'll try him each week. Sometimes he'll take and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's near enough that size now where I'll probably start moving him over to, like you say, 10 to 14 days.
Yeah. No, that's
But
fair enough. And you said,
yeah.
is it all rats as well? Or have you got any on Maltese or?
So I've got a couple that are on mice. So I've got quite a few jumbo mice because they're at the size where they could take saying that they could take a bigger rat, but they're on mice. So I just do a jumbo mouse, but most of my stuff's all on rats.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, are you planning on trying to get them over from mice to rats at any point, or are you just happy feeding them on the mice?
I'm happy feeding. I'll try, and like the the pastel Ultramel. Sorry, she was on mice for a little while, and then I fed her a rat. She took it. I thought, oh, lovely. But then I tried to feed her a rat one day. She didn't take it. I fed her on a mouse, and she took it. So she's sort of back and forwards on it.
I've got one like that. My banana fire. Last year she would only touch Maltese. She wouldn't eat anything else. She'd laid a decent clutch, and then the day after I offered her a rat. She took the rat straight away. She probably did like, I don't know, 5 or 6 rats consecutively, like every time I was feeding.
Yeah.
And just went off food again. And I was like, it's not that like you need to eat more than this. So went back to Maltese, and she ate a couple of Maltese, and now she won't eat Maltese, and she won't eat rats. She'll only eat rats if they've been defrosted in a bag with a multi. Like, it has to be like a like a multi-scented rat, but she won't eat the multi after. Like, it's just mental. But she's eating food, so it's not the end of the world. But it's a bit like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, they can be quite picky feeders, can't they?
Yeah, sometimes, and like they're weird because like they'll be picky feeders for like 6-7 months, and then one day you'll open the tub and they'll come flying out like, well, I'm ready for food now, and it's like a whole different snake. It's bizarre.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why didn't you just do this months ago? Why don't you just take one?
Yeah, exactly. But
you wouldn't be so hungry.
We like them. It's good to keep us guessing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind obviously having boas as well. You put something in there with a boa, it's going to take it.
Yeah,
but I had the same.
A bit like dustbins, aren't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll take anything. But then, like when I had the Royals before, I think one of them went off food for like 5 months, and you're thinking to yourself, "Is everything all right here? Is there anything wrong with you?"
Yeah, it does get worrying as well. Like if you're newer to the hobby as well, and you don't know about the feeding like strikes or hunger strikes, whatever you want to call them. It can be proper worrying. Like I've got a boy who probably only eats 2 months of the year, but he'll eat like in those 2 months he will eat every time I offer him food. And he's like, I've had enough now. I don't need anything else. And but I'll still offer him. I stop offering every feed, and I only offer him every other feed. And I can tell, like, if I've got stuff defrosting and he's at the front of the tub and I haven't got something out for him, I'll just give him something from one of the other snakes and they can wait a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do like maybe 2-3 months, 3 at a push, and then that's it, him for the entire year. He don't care.
Yeah. And then just go off food. Like you say, if you're new to it and you think, oh, this snake ain't eating for a month, because we're used to eating 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
We think it's weird that you can go 6 months without having any food.
I can't go 6 hours without food.
No, me neither. But it can be frustrating.
Yeah, definitely.
I've had a few here that have gone on strike for months on end.
Yeah.
I think as long as they're not under like 300 grams, and as long as you keep checking them and they're not losing weight like silly amounts each week,
yeah, exactly.
then they're all right.
Yeah, no, my boy, the one that goes on, he sits consistently about 1,800 to 1,800 grams to about 2 kilos, and
Yeah,
he will drop maybe 100 grams over
yeah,
the 8 9 months that he doesn't eat, which is nothing. Like it's not even
no,
10% of his body weight. So at no point
yeah,
am I concerned. It's just, but if you didn't know, that one would be a worry because he's quite long
oh
as well.
yeah,
He's not the chunkiest of snakes, but he's got a decent body condition. But he's a long for a boy as well.
yeah,
So he like sometimes when you open the tub, he looks really skinny, but
yeah,
then you open the tub the next day and he looks fine. But
yeah.
like I said, his body condition doesn't change. That's just how he looks.
Yeah, I mean, if as long as he's not losing weight silly amounts, if you say 100 grams in 8 months, well, that's nothing really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when your males go off food during like breeding season. You
Yeah,
know, I'll always check because sometimes you might feed, and it might be every 3 or 4 weeks they might take a meal. That's when I try and tend to go in with like a mouse.
yeah,
I'll always try a mouse because they're a little bit smaller than a rat because they might want to take a smaller meal.
yeah. I find that
Um,
actually swapping the actual rodent size as opposed to what type of rodent always helps as well.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't want a small ween or a large ween. They might just want a chub or something like that.
Yeah,
So I tend to try and feed every 2 or 3 weeks during breeding season for the males.
yeah,
And most of the time, majority of the time they eat. Sometimes they might go on strike, but I'll just check their weight every couple of weeks just to make sure it's not going down by too much.
yeah,
But I tend to try and not like my super pastel blade clown. I started breeding him at about 500 grams,
yeah,
but he was eating weekly, and I thought, well, if he stops eating for 2 or 3 weeks, I'll pull him and I won't use him.
yeah.
But he ate all the way through.
No, exactly. So I think as long as like you say, 500 grams is probably like the lowest point I would start. But if they're consistently feeding, I
Mm,
would be quite happy to, like you say, pop them in as long as like maybe just to one girl.
yeah,
And like if you're doing one pairing, like you pop them in every 6 weeks.
yeah,
So and then as long as he's feeding in that gap, I would be quite happy to do that. I've got a couple that I started this year, and they were both about I don't know 750, 800 grams when I started pairing them.
yeah,
And like they both went in, they both locked the first times, and then they both went on food. I was like,
yeah,
oh, damn. So that was it. Like there was no more pairings for you two. And
yeah,
then, but they're back on food now and they're eating, but they're not going back in this year. Although that'll be for next season.
yeah. I mean, at that sort of size, you could probably get away with it for a little while before you thought, well, all right, it's been 6 7 weeks, he hasn't
Yeah,
eaten. Pull him just in because he's got a bit of size on him that you shouldn't have to worry too much.
yeah. No,
It's just
definitely.
if they're losing it too quickly, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to be careful as well, especially with first-time males if they're quite young still, because they can drop body condition so quickly. Like
yeah,
they'll be fine, they'll be smashing food, and like if they go off food and they're still pairing because they're using so much energy to like mate with these females that are twice the size of them,
mm,
you'll find that you'll put them in and they'll be fine, and then like 2 3 locks later, you're like Jesus Christ, where the hell's that snake gone? Like it's just there's nothing
yeah,
left of him. So I'm really anal about like making sure they're on food when I'm pairing them.
yeah.
But
And the thing is, you don't want to come in one day and then like a male that you might have spent a lot, not that it's the money wise, but you know, you might breed that first time male, and then if he passes away because he doesn't eat for months, you think, oh, you know, why did I do that? You know,
no,
you don't want to
definitely.
risk it.
No, I completely agree. And although like I've got quite a few snakes, all of them are in my brain are pets. I don't want any of them to like not that anybody's going there going, oh, I want them to die, but they're firstly they're pets. Like I don't have them just to breed. The breeding is just like an extra fun bit for me.
Yeah,
And like it is for most hobby keepers. So at no point do I want to put a pet in danger where they might die because I'm going, oh, I need some eggs because I need some money. So
no,
it's definitely but I think more in the UK as well, because it's quite a taboo subject to talk about like the money side of it for some reason. Like if you listen to the Americans, like the money they just chat about it like it's nothing. But in the UK it's always like a bit of a touchy subject.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't remember where I was going with that. I got a bit distracted in my own brain. But hey
Like,
ho.
don't get me
Anyway,
wrong.
yeah.
If you can breed them and make money off it, that's great.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I think if you've got 400-500 snakes and you're breeding them just for money, I think you're probably doing it wrong, because you're supposed to enjoy it at the same time.
No, I completely agree. Like, if you look at like some of the top breeders in the UK, so like Paul at Urban Constrictors, for example, like he obviously is breeding full time and he is making a lot of money out of it. But at the same time, he hasn't got like 1,000 snakes that he's just pumping babies out of. He's just focusing
No.
on like the high end morphs that are worth the money. And
Yeah.
again, he's producing stuff to further his collection, and it's the surplus that he's selling on. So
Yeah.
let's face it, if you're enjoying the hobby and you're producing snakes that you want to keep, and the snakes that like are left over, are the surplus ones, are making you enough money that you don't need to go to work full time, you'd be silly to go to work full time unless you really like your job. But let's face it.
Yeah. Who likes getting up out of bed in the morning? Do you know what I mean?
If I could roll out of bed and go to the snake shed or like go to the snake facility,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. But
well, I think if you're breeding, even like if you're a small time breeder, like let's say me,
yeah,
you know, in your head you're thinking to yourself, I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to wake up in the morning, not have to go and work for somebody else, but roll out, like you say, roll out of bed into your shed in the back garden, which is all insulated with 50, 60 high-end females in there.
yeah.
Oh, it'd be lovely.
No, definitely. Like, my problem is I like all the animals. So like, I've always said, if I was to win the lottery, I would be buying like a zoo. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to like Crocodiles of the World or like Brian Barczyk's Reptarium. If I
Yeah.
won the lottery, that's what I would be doing. Like, I'd wake
Yeah.
up in the morning, I'd be like, "There's my crocodile. There's my tortoise that's big enough to ride on." There's
Yeah.
I would love that. So
Yeah.
maybe one day.
Well, I
But
think
it would also be private as well. No one's coming. It's just mine. Stay away.
just yours. Yeah, you just get to admire it by yourself.
Exactly.
Let a couple of certain people in every now and then, but other than that, it's just for you.
Yeah, I'll wake up in the morning and just go and look at my stuff without anybody else. It's like my own little private zoo.
Yeah, well, like you were saying before, like if you're breeding snakes, everyone has that in their mind that they would love to have that life where you're making money from it and you're, you know, you can. That's your job, is to breed snakes. If you're doing it for a hobby, why would you not want to do it full time?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But then
I mean,
I don't know because obviously I haven't got experience, but I always wonder if making that transition from doing it as a hobby to a full time job would ruin it and take the passion away.
I think depending on how many snakes you had, I think that could also put a lot of pressure. You know, if you're having 100, 150 clutches a year and you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of babies to feed, I think that probably would, for me, take the fun out of it.
Yeah, and let's face it, if I don't think you want, I wouldn't want to go into that full time and then 6 months later go, you know what, I hate this. Because I don't think I'd be able to bounce back from going from a hobby to a full time job, and then I don't think I'd be able to bring it back to a hobby. I think it would be, it's a full time job and I hate it. That's it. I'm calling it quits, and I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to do it on a hobby scale. I think for most of us in the UK, that is where I don't think it will go higher than a hobby scale. I don't think we should be aiming to be the next massive breeder. I think people should be focusing on like just harnessing on that little project that they're working on at home, making that the best that you can.
Yeah.
I think if everybody does that, the industry would be better. It's going to be better than everybody focusing on like, oh, I've got to have 100 girls to produce like 1,000 babies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just focus on what you like, not what other people like. Yeah. Do what works well for you. And like you say, if you've got some bits left over at the end that you're not holding back, try and sell them. Or if you can't, if it's normals and stuff, then you might be able to give some away to your friends or whatever. But I just think you see a lot of these people and they've got these really high end stuff and they do look really nice. But I've seen stuff online, especially on YouTube. I watched this one channel and he said he was in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt because he's bought all these snakes and it was his first time ever owning one.
It's mad.
And you think, why have you might, in a year's time, you might not like breeding ball pythons because he's never owned one before.
Yeah, that's mental. Not something I would do. Like, I don't know. That's a world that I wouldn't even want to get into doing it full time, to be honest, on a large scale. I'm
No.
quite happy having my 5-6 clutches a year, keeping a couple of holdbacks, and the rest of it just pays for the bills and stuff, really.
Yeah, I think ideally for me, I think I'd want to get to a point with the stuff that I've got now. In the future, I'd like to probably say get about 10 clutches a year.
Yeah.
Anything more than that,
That could
I
be
don't
anywhere
want
from
that.
50 to 100 babies, depending on the clutches. So that's a
Yeah.
lot of mouths to feed.
I'd say if I got up to about 70 hatchlings a year,
Yeah.
that would probably be me good.
Yeah, no, I'm about the same. I reckon anywhere between 50 and like 50 to 80, I would say, is where I want to be. I don't really want to be any higher than that. And I'm quite happy being nearer 50 than 80 if
Yeah.
I'm producing like slightly higher end stuff, not like high end stuff. Like I don't want to be producing 5,000-6,000 pound snakes. I'm quite happy producing like any like stuff that's worth, I don't know, between 200 and 600 quid. So that's sort of like the nice pet bracket, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I'm just producing loads of different pied combos that I want to keep, and anything else gets to go. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's the way it should be as well. You're doing it for yourself to make stuff that you would want to eventually breed again later down the line.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be looking at it thinking, oh, a lot of people are really interested in the sunset, so I'm going to invest £5,000 into sunset male.
Yeah.
And then I don't even... I do like
really
sunset,
like
by
it.
the way.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of it, but you're just doing it for the money. Well, there's no passion in that then, is there? You're just doing it for money.
No, yeah, exactly. And I think you can always tell the difference between the breeders that have got the passion and the breeders that are there to, like you say, to make the money. And
Yeah.
I always find the people with the more passion, you can see the quality of the snake as well, because they're not going on Morph Market going, right, sunsets are like, for example, sunsets are the new thing. Let me go on search Morph Market, sunset, lowest price, right? That's the cheapest sunset. I'll buy that one.
Yeah.
Whereas like you can get like, say someone that does like Orange Dream, for example, they vary massively. Or in fact, Calico's a good one, because Calico's vary like the quality is ridiculous. So I've got a Calico girl, and I spent probably, I don't know, 6 months looking for a Calico or pastel Calico.
Yeah.
That I liked, because I knew that I wanted the highest quality one that I could afford.
Yeah.
Because you look at some of them, and you can pick up a Calico female for like, oh well, but you at the time the prices are all over the place. But at the time, it was like 50 to 60 quid for a standard like Calico, maybe 100, 120 quid for a pastel Calico. And I was looking at them, I was like, yeah, it's all right. Like that one's, yeah, I'm not sure. And then I saw this one up for sale. It was like 160, 170 pound, I think.
Yeah.
But it looked like a completely different snake. Like,
yeah,
technically, it was still. She is only a pastel Calico, but the quality of that snake makes it look like it's a completely different animal.
Yeah.
Like if
Like
people
really high white.
Yeah, really high white, and the expression from the pastel is really nice as well. And if those hobby breeders at home are committed to working on that project and they want the best examples, you can always see the better examples as they produce them.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, I noticed when I was, because I bought a clown female not too long ago. She was possible Orange Dream, but I've had a couple of opinions, and they say probably not. But she is. If she is, she's a nice normal clown.
Yeah.
But I was also looking at getting a pastel clown, just a female, just a pastel clown, just to add to the collection, because you can pick them up at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
But if you look at the variation between some of these pastel clowns and others, there's such a difference.
It's like
you can see some which are really, really nice, and they're the same price as another one you see on there, and it already looks like it's browned out, and it's at 250 grams.
Yeah. Whereas, and then you see some of them, and they're like going on for a kilo, and they're only just starting to brown out. Like, unfortunately, with pastel clowns, they do all brown out eventually, but some brown out a lot less than others.
Yeah, but I think when they're browning out at 250 gram, 300 grams, you think, oh, there could be a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, definitely. And and you want to be able to open the racks and go, that's a good. I love that snake. I'm well happy that one's bought. You don't want to be opening it and go, Well, it's got all the right genes, but it looks like crap.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You want to look at it and be, even though you're seeing it every day, you still want that wow factor when you open it.
definitely, exactly. Right, we've been going just over an hour now, so I want to start moving towards wrapping up.
Yeah,
I could sit here and chat for ages, but I've got to try and
yeah.
limit it. So to wrap up, we will start with the thing I like to call the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Shame. I'm sure you've listened before, but for those that don't or haven't listened, if this is your first time, the Hall of Shame and the Hall of Fame is a bit like Room 101. It's designed for like newbie keepers or people that are interested. So the idea is you have to use your imagination. You walk into the Hall of Shame. It's like a museum, and everybody that's been on the podcast will have submitted something to put in the Hall of Shame. That something could be advice, a product. Well, that's pretty much it. Advice or a product that they've used and they think is crap. Like, don't use it. Nobody should have to deal with it. For example, what have we had in the past? So we've had red light bulbs. Previously, like in history, everyone recommended red light bulbs because apparently the animals couldn't see them at night, but you could still see them. We now know that actually it just damages the eyes and it's really bad for animals. So yeah, that's the Hall of Shame, red bulbs. And then walking through the Hall of Shame, done that. We move into the Hall of Fame. And this is exactly the same concept, but it's the positive things. So like full spectrum LED lights. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but yeah. So like the positive. So we'll start with the Hall of Shame. What would you want to add to the Hall of Shame?
I haven't actually used it, but I've seen them online, and I don't like them very much. You see some people where they've got bearded dragons, and they've got like carpet in it.
Yeah, like the Repti carpet stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that can't be good.
No, funnily enough, at one point, Repti carpet was like really popular. Everyone was like, "You really need to use it," and I used it for leopard geckos for a while, but I don't use it anymore. I've gone back to loose substrate. Yeah, Repti carpet is crap. Like, not necessarily the brand. I don't know if there's more than one brand, but we'll say Repti carpet for the sake of it.
Yeah,
It's not only bad because like their claws can get stuck in it, but it harbors bacteria. It's impossible to clean it properly. Like, yeah,
yeah,
Repti carpet, Hall of Shame. I like that one. So,
yeah.
moving through the Hall of Shame, we're into the Hall of Fame now. Beautiful stuff, fantastic advice, brilliant products. Everybody should go and sample these products. What are you putting in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, something I did really like. They look really nice in vivariums, especially when I had my water dragon. You know them jungle vines. I can't remember the company. That is it. Exoterra.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I like them.
Yeah, the jungle vines look brilliant. They're easy to maneuver as well. Like you can wrap them around stuff. They're pretty solid. They're easy to clean. Yeah, I like that. Hall of Fame. We're adding jungle vines. They're always you can pop them
Yeah,
in vivariums and stuff, and it just adds a little bit of extra climbing space. And yeah, they look good. I like
yeah.
that. Very good. Right. So before we finish off today, are there any shout outs you want to give? And after shout outs, if there are any, feel free to plug yourself. Where can people find you?
Okay. Well, I'll shout out the missus because she lets me keep all the snakes.
I think she's been commenting as well. I think.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah. She's there. She's supporting you.
Yeah, she said no lidless ones, please. Yeah, definitely shout out the missus. And shout out you as well, Ben, for having me on it.
You're very welcome.
So, like I said, I've been speaking to you for a while now, so it's nice to actually have a proper conversation with you.
Definitely.
Are you going to the Ark as well?
I will be at the Ark. Yeah, that's MJ Python's animal. What's it called? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah, something reptile I don't know, but yeah, I will be there.
Yeah. Oh, I'll see you there then as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I can be found over on Morph Market and Instagram, Beardy Royals.
Fantastic. And yeah, all the links will be in the description below as well. So that is us for today, Jack. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. I've really enjoyed this chat.
Yeah, cheers for having me on, Ben.
No worries. And hopefully, I'll speak to you later, probably. And anyway, but yeah, until next time, thank you very much, mate.
Yeah. Cheers, Maddie. See you later.
Cool. So that was another fantastic episode. Thank you very much again to Jack of Beardy Royals for coming on. Like I said, his links will be in the description below. Before we finish off today, I need to announce today's winner of the Exotic Keepers Magazine prize. Today's winner, it's on screen now, is Michael Longmuir, and he commented, "Pink tongue skinks aren't born with pink tongues." which I didn't know. I thought they were born with pink tongues. So congratulations, Michael. You've won a 12-month digital subscription to the Exotic Keeper Magazine Members Club. Just drop me a message on Instagram and I will sort you out with all the details on how to claim that. Right, before we go, if you want to keep up to date with what's going on, you can follow my Reptile Instagram, which is @BensBalls. And if you want to follow the podcast as well, that is @ReptiChat, just to keep up to date on what's going on and new guests, etc., all that jazz. If you want to support the podcast, every little thing helps. So you can comment, you can subscribe, you can click that notification bell on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, and any of the other platforms, specifically Spotify and Apple, really, you can on Spotify you can leave a rating. There's also like a Q&A option now, I think, as well. So you can leave a comment on Spotify too. If you want to support the podcast more than that, there's a link in the description below on the video and in all the Spotify and Apple Music, etc., etc. So a website called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can donate the price of a coffee towards the upkeep of the podcast. Something else I keep forgetting to mention at the end of the podcast, there is a ReptiChat Social Club Discord. If you want that Discord link, it will be on my Instagram story tomorrow for you to join, or just drop me a DM and I will send you the link and DM me on Instagram. So that's @ReptiChat. So yeah, that is everything for now. Thank you very much. That was episode 9, all done and dusted. Next episode 10, will be in 2 weeks' time, and I'm really excited about this episode. We are doing a Dangerous Wild Animal License episode. I won't announce the guest for now, but it's an episode I've been trying to put together for a while. So yeah, that one should be really, really good. So until next time, thank you very much, and bye-bye.